people. But do you have any remorse or any apology to make for the disgusting lie you made against me and millions of innocent people who voted Leave, where you said that because they voted Leave, they don't like the look of foreign people, they must be racist or xenophobe? I voted to leave the European Union. That was on the ballot paper. It was not because of the colour of somebody's skin or their ethnicity or where they come from. It was to leave the European Union, and you have caused so much distress and hurt to me.
All right.
It's disgrace.
Do you know, one of the people I most admire in politics was Tony Benn. And if he was alive today, he would have voted to come out of the EU. So I would never say that people voted to come out because they were racist. But there is no question that in the month... the month after the Brexit vote, we had a 41% rise in race hate. We saw that terrible killing of the Kurdish boy in Croydon. I'm not saying that there weren't good reasons to come out to vote to the EU, but let's be clear about the rise in hate crimes that we've seen since.
Diane, it's very irresponsible of you to stir up this unfounded suggestion that people who voted to leave the European Union are somehow racist, and that the awful killing in Croydon was motivated by Brexit. There is no proof whatsoever of that, and I think it's irresponsible and disrespectful.
Listening to me, I would never say that people like Tony Benn were racist, and it's not me saying there was a 41% rise in hate crime. It was the Metropolitan Police. Do you think they're stirring up hatred?
Yeah, but I think people are, because because when we say hate crime, you've got websites, things like True Vision, you've got all of these mechanisms where people can press big red buttons and register a hate crime because people perceive that somebody's committed a hate crime against them. They're getting logged, they're getting registered, they're not getting validated, and I'm getting a little bit fed up with Brexit getting the blame for everything. I want to make a point. I want to make a point, and it's not about hate crime. I'm taking it back to something else. On this panel, I've heard you talk about extreme Brexit, and I've heard you talk about hard Brexit, and I am fed up with it. Brexit, we was asked a question, do you want to be in the European Union, yes or no? My personal choice was no, thank you. So I voted it out. Right, it doesn't make me any better or worse or more intelligent or less intelligent than anybody else. It just makes me entitled to my opinion. Now, Brexit, now let me finish my point. Brexit, for me, means leaving the European Union and its associated bodies. It doesn't mean me moving house and sleeping still in the bedroom from my old house, a little bit of it over there. It's not extreme, it's not hard, it's just Brexit. We're just leaving the EU and its associated bodies.
I mean, Michelle, the last week should have proved to you that it isn't that straightforward. And the bottom line is this, where I absolutely think this point actually is proved, is that Brexit has divided the country in a cultural way, in a nasty way, and I massively regret that. It breaks my heart. I am very, very proud of Britain, and I want Britain to be united wherever we are, in or out of Europe. But here's the thing, being in the single market is worth £100 billion a year to the United Kingdom. The Chancellor of the Exchequer says that. Now, if that is the case, if I was the Prime Minister of a country that had basically had a score draw, people had voted Leave, but narrowly, what would you do? Would you go for an extreme Brexit, for it is, or would you try and bring the country together, leave the European Union, but at least have a modest approach towards having a membership of the single market? That is what you'll be doing if you're trying to bring Britain together, not divide it.
All right. I'll hear one or two more points, then we'll go on. You in the front here.
Tim, regardless if you can't go through Brexit, kicking and screaming or not, we are leaving the EU. So it's a unilateral time to make us all come together and not go against the government. And we're leaving, regardless if it's single market or not. It wasn't on the ballot, but it was part of the whole discussion.
Not Farage,
we had a discussion.
It was a monochrome.
But we get over it, OK?
Right.
We had a discussion.
And you, sir, here. Hold on, Tim. Yes.
Just I understand, I respect your view is different from mine, but what I would like you to do is, as you believe strongly in your view, put it in your manifesto, and then we can decide what we want to do as the people, but we don't want another referendum. Put it in your manifesto and people will decide if they want to vote for it.
OK, and you, sir, at the very back there, in the middle.
For me, the whole issue is we should ask the European Union to justify their demand for £52 billion. We should compare that with our treaty obligations. Anything over and above that should be considered goodwill. I think there's a whole area of policy areas where we should cooperate internationally. I get that argument. We can't work on our own, but we need to bear in mind that the European Union is only 7% of the world population. Diane Abbott, you deliberately, just the same as Nick Clegg, who sat on that panel 2 weeks ago, you're deliberately confusing access to with membership of the single
membership
market.
is really important.
The statement you made
Thank you very
is
much.
factually incorrect.
Thank you very much. We must move on. No, we must move on to another question.